They called him worthless until the truth made him a hero. Before we begin this powerful story, I need you to stop what you're doing. If you believe in dignity, in respect, and in justice for those who are often overlooked, hit that subscribe button right now. Because here on Wealth and Wounds, we tell the stories that others refuse to tell, stories of pain, resilience, and ultimate redemption. Don't just watch, become part of the movement. Subscribe today. The rain had just stopped when Marcus Hill, a tall, weary man in his early 40s, stepped off the bus with nothing more than a faded duffel bag slung over his shoulder. His boots were scuffed, his jacket worn, and his eyes told stories no one could read at first glance. To anyone watching, Marcus looked like just another drifter, maybe even homeless. The world often judged by appearances, and tonight would be no different. He walked toward the grand facade of the Riverside Grand Hotel, a place glowing with chandeliers and marble pillars. He wasn't there to beg or to loiter. He was there because inside those walls was the last piece of dignity he was clinging to: an interview, a chance at a new life, a fresh start. But fate had a way of testing the strong, and Marcus was about to face a storm he never saw coming. As Marcus stepped into the lobby, the cool air and the scent of polished would hit him. He looked out of place. Guests in tuxedos and dresses turned to stare. But Marcus didn't care. He walked straight to the counter. "Excuse me," he said softly to the receptionist. "I have an appointment upstairs." Before the receptionist could respond, a figure stepped between them. It was Charles Denton, the hotel's head of security. A stocky man with a sharp jawline and eyes that scanned Marcus with disdain. "Sir," Charles barked, "we don't allow people like you in here." The lobby went silent. People glanced, whispered. Marcus tightened his grip on the duffel bag. "I'm here for an interview," Marcus said, his tone steady. But Charles smirked. "Interview? Dressed like that? You must be joking. Take your bag and step outside before I have you removed." Marcus swallowed his pride. His instincts told him to walk away, but something inside burned. "I serve this country," Marcus whispered, just loud enough for Charles to hear. "I've earned the right to stand here." But Charles laughed, raising his voice so the guest could hear. "Serve this country? Yeah, right. You look like you can't even serve yourself a meal. Get out before I throw you out." The crowd chuckled, some in discomfort, others in cruel amusement. Marcus lowered his gaze. He could take the insult, but the humiliation cut deep. Slowly, he turned and walked out into the rain-soaked street. But the story wasn't over. Not even close. As Marcus sat on the curb, memories flooded his mind. The roar of helicopters, the scorching heat of desert sands, the sound of gunfire whistling past. He remembered dragging 3 wounded soldiers to safety under heavy fire. He remembered the day he received his Silver Star Medal. He remembered the oath he swore: "No man left behind." But now here he was, left behind by his own country, by society, by people like Charles Denton. Marcus clenched his fists. He had faced worse. He had survived war. And tonight, survival meant one thing: he would not be silenced. What Charles didn't know was that the hotel owner, a dignified woman named Eleanor Graves, was already watching from the mezzanine above. She had seen the entire incident. Marcus's humiliation, his restraint, his dignity in the face of insult. Minutes later, when Marcus had left, Eleanor called her assistant. "Bring that man back," she ordered. Immediately. And fate began to turn. Marcus was about to walk away when a young assistant ran after him. "Sir, wait, the owner wants to see you." Confused, Marcus followed back into the grand lobby. This time, Eleanor herself greeted him warmly. "I'm so sorry for what happened," she said. "Please come with me." Charles, the smug security guard, frowned in confusion. "Ma'am, with all due respect, this man, Eleanor interrupted sharply, "is my guest, and you will treat him as such." The lobby, once silent in mockery, was now silent in shock. In a private lounge, Marcus finally opened his duffel bag. Inside were medals, photographs, and documents proving his service. Eleanor's eyes widened as she picked up the Silver Star. You're a war hero," she whispered. Marcus looked down. "I was. Now, I'm just trying to find work to rebuild. But no one sees past this jacket, this bag." Eleanor's voice cracked. They will now, because tomorrow morning you're going to be in the newspaper, and Charles Denton is going to learn what respect really means. The next day, headlines blared. Homeless veteran humiliated at Riverside Grand. Owner steps in. Marcus's story spread like wildfire. Guests returned, not to mock, but to thank him, and job offers began pouring in. As for Charles Denton, he was summoned to Eleanor's office, where Marcus now sat, not as a victim, but as a man standing tall. You called me worthless, Marcus said calmly. But today the world knows my worth. Charles shifted nervously. For the first time, he was the one humiliated. Just as Marcus was finally reclaiming his dignity, a letter arrived, stamped with government insignia. Marcus opened it slowly, his hands trembling. His eyes widened. The letter revealed a shocking truth. His old unit was under investigation, and his name was tied to secrets that could shake the nation. The screen fades to black. To be continued. If you're feeling the weight of this story, don't just sit back. Hit that subscribe button right now, so you never miss the truth behind these struggles. Every subscription helps us keep these powerful stories alive. Marcus's story proves that sometimes the people we ignore carry the heaviest stories of sacrifice. If this touched you, don't just scroll away. Like, comment, share this story, and make sure you subscribe to Wealth and Wounds for more untold struggles that the world needs to hear.